At 73, John Deacon, the famously reclusive bassist of Queen, has finally broken his decades-long silence to confirm a truth that fans had only whispered about for years, a revelation that pulls back the curtain on the band's meteoric rise. Its personal battles and the emotional scars left behind, and while the man himself has been almost a ghost in the public eye since retiring from music in 1997. His words now carry the weight of someone who has lived through the dizzying heights of rock stardom and the crushing depths of loss, especially the death of Freddie Mercury, which many believed was the sole reason for his withdrawal. But as Deacon himself admits in this long-awaited confession, the truth was far more complicated, rooted not only in grief but also in years of quiet dissatisfaction with the music industry. An industry, he says, took more than it gave and left him feeling like a cog in a machine designed to exploit rather than inspire, and he recalls with startling clarity the early days in the 1970s when Queen was just a struggling band playing small pubs, barely scraping enough to pay rent, before suddenly being thrust into the global spotlight with hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You. And while the fame was intoxicating, it came with relentless pressure to outdo themselves, record label demands, and an endless cycle of touring that left little room for normal life, and Deacon, a self-described introvert, often found himself retreating backstage while Freddie and the others thrived in the chaos. But even then, the bond between the four was unshakable, forged in countless late-night recording sessions and shared hotel rooms on the road, and he speaks tenderly about Freddie's unwavering belief in his songwriting abilities, reminding the world that some of Queen's biggest hits, like Another One Bites the Dust and I Want to Break Free, came from his pen. Yet the more the band succeeded, the more he felt disconnected from the spectacle surrounding them, especially as the 1,980 seconds brought with it a tabloid-fueled frenzy over Freddie's personal life and the darker realities of fame. From industry politics to corporate meddling, and by the early 90s, when Freddie's illness became public, Deacon says he knew deep down that the band's golden era was over, that without Freddie's energy and vision, it would never be the same. So when Mercury passed in 1991, Deacon played only a handful of tribute shows before quietly stepping away, not out of weakness but out of a deep conviction that Queen, as they had known it, was complete. And for years he resisted invitations from Brian May and Roger Taylor to reunite under the Queen name, insisting that it's not Queen without Freddie. And now, in this rare conversation, he admits that part of his retreat was also about reclaiming his own identity. Living a quiet life with his family in southwest London, walking to the local shop without cameras following him, and enjoying the simple pleasures that fame had stolen from him, and yet, he says, he never stopped loving the music or the fans. And while he has no plans to return to the stage, he wants people to understand that his silence was not about bitterness, but about peace, and in revealing this, he has finally given closure to those who wondered why one of rock's most talented bassists seemingly disappeared at the height of his career, proving that sometimes the bravest act is simply walking away when the world expects you to stay.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.